everyone. Welcome back to the Talk of Fame podcast. I am really excited for today's episode because I get to introduce you to Eric Paquette. 21 Ways My Life Was Great was out on April 19th, 2024, is the second single from Youth Year, the moniker of Eric Paquette, a Nashville-based artist, songwriter, and producer. Youth Year has collaborated with all giants Lit, Dashboard Confessional, Letdown, and Michigander, along with Butch Walker, Desmond Child, Colin Brittain, members of No Doubt, and more. Youth Year's debut single Basement was the first step outside the writer-producer chair and into the co-produce the song, which features a music video that tips the tat to Nirvana's in the Bloom and Weezer's Buddy Holly videos and their satirical portrayal in the late 50s, early 60s. Sonically, the song also draws influence from both bands and the more melodic side of grunge and pop rock of the 90s, upbeat and all things alternate rock. It's bursting with bright melodies that sit next to melodic powerhouse classics like the All American Rejects and new acts like the Band Camino. Late 90s icon Ajay Popoff of the band Lit My Own Enemy. It joined in on a group of vocals as well as make a feature in the music video, which was co-directed by Nick Stafford, All Time Low, Charlotte Sands, Boys Like Girls, to name a few of his projects, but Youth Year, who also co-styled the video. Lyrically, 21 Ways My Life Is Great is a so glad I'm finally over breakup song that captures the explosive joy of finally being free of a toxic relationship. Guess my mom was right about your type. This is one of playful ways Eric is grateful to be on to better things. But bottom line, there are no regrets over the breakup in that song, which is something I absolutely loved when I read this. But Eric, thank you so much for, coming on today and talking about your new single. It's
Of
absolutely awesome
course.
to have you.
Happy to be here. Happy Tuesday. Yes.
Tuesday. I honestly was going to say Monday for some reason, but I really don't want it to be Monday. So,
Yeah.
it's a different conversation. But, to give a more in-depth, honestly, you explained yourself better than I could. But how about you tell us, more about you and why you decided to become a songwriter? Because you just moved a couple years ago to Nashville. You're originally from Massachusetts. So, tell us more about you and why you decided to become a songwriter.
So I guess I started playing in bands. I started playing in bands when I was like 12 years old. And I kind of decided then like this is it for me. And I played with in a band with like my best friends. We took that band all the way through high school, through our 20s. And when the band fell apart, I naturally had been the songwriter in the band. I'm like, well, what's next? But it kind of not songwriting came naturally for me. And being the songwriter in the band, it was just the next step of the progression for me as an artist to kind of lean in that world. And in starting this project Youth Year, I had basically when that band ended, I got into songwriting and producing. I used to take bus trips from Massachusetts to New York City and started getting connected into the songwriting scene there. Started getting linked in with BMI, different A&Rs, different labels, and kind of just wanted to like hone my craft.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, I found people to collaborate with all kinds of stuff, working with other artists, producing other artists stuff, and then also with for this project too. So it's always been kind of something I've done since I was a little kid. I mean, I wrote my first song when I was like 10.
What? Really? At
Yeah.
10 years old? Gosh.
Yeah, I was such a fan of music, so obsessed with music. And when I finally got a guitar, I was just instantly like, I didn't even really know how to play. I was just writing things with one string.
Oh,
And
damn.
yeah.
Well, I'm a big music person as well. Like whenever
hmm
like I'm doing something, I'm always listening to music. I'm a big gigantic music fan. But now you said you're a big fan of music. What are some of your favorite artists and songs that you like? I know that's a very hard question. I know
It's a hard question because it's like, what am I listening? Like, it changes. I mean, I have my go-tos, and then I have like what I'm into now.
hmm
Um, so I guess classic stuff. I grew up. Blink-182 is the reason I started playing in a band. It made it very easy for 12-year-old kids who could barely play their instruments to cover their songs. They're very simple songs for beginner musicians. So it's very easy for three of us to get into the room and start playing stuff and have it sound pretty good pretty quick. And Third Eye Blind is a huge influence of mine. I love classic music of like the 50s and 60s, like the
Mhm.
Beatles, stuff like that. And like of today's music, probably one of my favorite bands is the 1975.
Mhm.
They're I think one of the best bands of our generation. Um, and yeah, I mean that's I could go off for hours in this question. So I mean it's like it just depends on the mood, you know. I'm watching a Tom Petty documentary right now, so I'm diving back into Tom Petty.
Oh, that's a good one. I heard about
Mm.
it, but I never watched it. Is it good?
Yes, there's a really great Tom Petty documentary on his last album called, well, he has a documentary about his whole story, which I recommend watching. It's just how the whole how he started in Gainesville, Florida, drove to Hollywood, became a star, all about songwriting too. And then there's also a new documentary with Rick Rubin in it, pretty great producer, and it's about his Wildflowers album, just that making of that record, and that's the one I'm watching right now. It's really good. I've seen it before, but
I have
I like.
to watch it now because I'm like a big documentary person as well, so I have to watch that one. But have you seen the new Bon Jovi documentary yet?
No, is it? So is it a documentary or a series?
It's like a series, so it's like I forget how many episodes. I believe it's on Hulu. It just came out maybe last week or over the last couple of weeks. Like it's like a couple episodes series about kind of Bon Jovi, kind of what the split was like, and it gives it in depth of the band. I watched a little bit of it. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Oh my
It's
God. So I've heard about this and I've been looking forward to it. I didn't know it was out. So thank you for telling me that. I'm gonna probably watch it tonight.
Yeah, like I didn't
Like,
even know it was out either until my mom was watching it. The one day I was like, when did it come out? Like, what did
thanks, Mom.
Thank you, Matt, for the information that I didn't know I needed.
Yeah, fun fact. I actually got to work with Desmond Child, who is a songwriter that's been around since the 70s, and he wrote a lot of those big Bon Jovi songs with them. He wrote,
Wait, really?
yeah, Desmond Child he co-wrote "Living on a Prayer," "You Give Love a Bad Name."
Oh my
I think
gosh.
there's some more. There's some more, but yeah, you should look up Desmond Child. Like on his Wikipedia, you could see all the Bon Jovi songs he wrote with them.
Oh
I
my
don't
God,
know if he's
I
gonna.
definitely
I,
need to look him up now. I'm
I
sure
don't know
he's
if he's gonna
probably in
be
the
in the show.
documentary, though. I'm sure he's probably at least something.
Yeah, yeah.
But like how would you describe your overall vibe of 21 Ways My Life is Great, your recent single that just came out?
The sound.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very influenced by bands like Weezer and the All American Rejects. It has that kind of fun, upbeat pop rock kind of thing, and sonically, like Weezer was a big influence on that track. And then, I mean, sometimes it's hard for me to even like you just make stuff, and then other people say, "Oh, it sounds like this," so I'm like, "Oh, I guess it kind of sounds like that." So people have told me like parts of the song sound like "Good Charlotte." That wasn't necessarily what I was thinking of when I was inspired to write it, but I could see like in the end there's like these chords that kind of sound a little bit like chords that Good Charlotte would do. But yeah, I think Weezer's a big influence, and I guess the All American Rejects were a big influence on that song.
And it seems like the bands or artists we listen to is most likely what inspires the music we make
Oh,
or
what comes
what
in comes out
yeah, it comes
is
in, comes out.
yeah.
But what made you choose this particular track, as the second single from Youth Year is like which is your new EP or album that you're coming out with?
Yeah, so yeah, Youth Year is the artist name. So my like that's my uh artist name, and the EP is actually going to be called "There's Going to Be Hell to Pay," which is a lyric from another song that's going to come out later. But
Mhm.
so I chose that track. Um, I guess it's one of my favorites, and I actually wanted to put it out first, but I was like, let me put out a different one first. I like all the songs. I love all the songs.
Mhm.
Wrote about 30 songs for the EP and chose seven. So we chose Basement first because I felt like it was a good intro to the project. It was a little bit grittier. It's more upbeat, like faster. And I thought it was a good like, hey, here I am. This is my first song. And I think 21 Ways like was a good follow up to that. I mean, there wasn't too much thought into why it was second, but I love it so much I was gonna put it out first, but I thought Basement might be a better just intro, you know.
Yeah, as
Plus,
long
I'm
as
independent.
it's going to be released, that's the most important thing, honestly. As long as it's going to be released. But do you have a timeline to when the EP will be out, or is it still up in the air?
So it's still, I'm kind of going song by song. I definitely want it to be out by the end of summer, but I'm going song by song right now, and it's about 6, 7 weeks between each song. So Basement came out March 1st. April 19th was 21 Ways. I think my next single will probably come out either the 7th of June or the 14th of June. And then from then on to like, it's all kind of happening in real time. Like literally the next single, we just finished mixing like before like I left my, Carlo Colasacco is his name. He's one of my best friends. We wrote all these songs together, produced them all together. And he usually worked with a different mixer, but this next one he actually mixed, and we just finished the mix at his house. Then I drove back to my apartment, and I'm gonna shoot the artwork tomorrow, and it'll come out. Yeah, as soon as it's like it's gotta get mastered, artwork, and then hopefully I can upload it by Friday, and then it'll be like I'm gonna give myself 6 weeks to get everything in order for the release.
Oh gosh, that
Yeah.
seems easy. That's probably your favorite part is probably the artwork, I'm assuming.
The artwork is fun. So we're actually shooting the artwork at Kesha's mom's house tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. So
Like the actual singer Kesha or
yes. So I'm friends with her mother. Her name's PB, and so Kesha's mother PB is actually a songwriter too, and she's actually written some of Kesha's songs with her.
Oh,
Um,
really? I did not know that.
so
That's
I've
good.
known PB for years. I got connected with her. I used to work with her brother. His name is Sage, and we became friends. And uh, I was working with Sage in Nashville before I moved here at Kesha's mom's house, and I noticed she had this really cool old car, vintage car from the '60s, in her driveway. And I was trying to think of different ideas for the artwork for my next single, and it's kind of a nostalgic song. It's sort of about things being kind of left forgotten in the past. And then I was like, oh, thinking about Kesha's mom's got this car. I'm like, I wonder if it's still there. So I texted her. I was like, do you still have that car? And she's like, yeah. I was like, can I take pictures in front of it? She's like, yeah, of course, come by. So we're going by tomorrow, 5 to shoot. We're gonna probably shoot the car. I'll be in front, I'll shoot some video and all kinds of stuff in front of the car and see what we get.
Yeah, that seems
So
so like I guess that's what connections are made of though. Like, did you ever meet Kesha too, or just her mom?
no, I talked to her on the phone though, but I
Really?
never yeah, I never met her, but we spoke on the phone once.
Oh my gosh. You're literally living a lot of people's dreams right there. I know with Kesha, she used to be so popular. Well, she still is popular, but she used to be like stuck out in like maybe early 2010s.
Yeah,
And
she was definitely like a mainstream, like she was a pioneer of a sound for a while. Now I feel like she's still big, but she's sort of just got her core fan base. And she still tours, she still plays big venues in town and puts out great music. But yeah, I know it's like it's fun to like see these people that you used to listen to songs and see them on the radio and see like have no connection to whatsoever, and all of a sudden, oh whoa, now I'm friends with their mom. I find that happens more and more the longer I'm making music and the longer that I am here in Nashville. I just keep meeting people that I'm like, whoa, like I worked with the band Lit. Like that was I loved My Own Worst Enemy. Like, I mean, they still play that song at baseball games and it's in TV shows all the time and football games. And to be able to work with those guys was insane because I covered that song, My Own Worst Enemy, when I was like 12. And then when I got pulled in to work with them, I was like, whoa, this is like a full circle moment for me to be able to like work with some of my heroes, you know?
yeah, like that's honestly the best part about being in the industry is that you'll meet people that you grew up listening to and probably seen in concert, probably.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just
Yep.
crazy to see what small world is that you get to work with people that you grew up listening. It's
Yes.
something to probably to say.
You're absolutely right. I keep finding out the world keeps getting smaller and smaller. The more people I meet, the more I'm like, oh, you know this person. It's like it is a very small world.
I know. And what was it? What was, the backstory of your name, Youthier? I'm just curious to see.
So it came from a phrase that my fiance came up with. Well, here's the deal. So I was trying to come up with a name for the project, and I'm like, this is so hard. I can't think of anything. It's like it's hard for me to come up with stuff sometimes when I have to. Like a lot of like I always show up and I try with writing songs, especially like I just things come out, I write it down, and like when I get a melody, I usually look into the notebook. Okay, what does this? Do I have something to say here? Whatever. But coming up with the band name was just like a lot. I put a lot of unneeded pressure on myself. But so I was trying to figure stuff out. I was like reading books, literally. Like I was waking up every day and be like, I'm coming with a band name today. End of the day, shit, I don't have it. Sorry for swearing. But the next thing, coming up with a band name, just it took forever. So I'm like reading books. I'm making collages. I was like going insane over trying to come up with a name. And then Gabby was like, "Well, why don't you call it Years of Your Youth or something? Because it's kind of nostalgic feeling. It's kind of influenced by a lot of the stuff that you grew up listening to." And I was like, "That's kind of cool, but it's kind of long." I was like, "What if I call it Youth Years?" And I was like, "Okay, wait, why don't we drop the S and just Youth Year?" And I was like, "All right, I kind of like that. I can get down with it." And that's it. So
That is actually a dope way to come at it because of course you're in your youth and it's all your youth years, so it makes total sense.
yeah. It's I my main mission for the band name was I wanted something kind of that felt like I made it one word, youth year. Um, but I just didn't want to hate it. That's all. Because I know like a lot of times like it doesn't band names don't matter that much. It's sort of like the sound that gives the band the name. Like what is the 1975? Like
Yeah.
if you saw that written somewhere and you never heard the sound, you'd be like what doesn't make any sense. Or the Killers. Like you're not thinking of actual Killers when you listen to the Killers. You're thinking of like Mr. Brightside or one of their other songs. Like you're hearing the sound in your head. So I realize that's something that I think of too. It's like the band name doesn't matter as much. It's just getting people to hear the music, and then eventually when they see the word, they think of that, or a
Yeah,
visual.
like I saw something a few days ago about a band. I forget what the band was, but I saw something that like they chose a name. I can't think of it. It's gonna kill me now. But once they got famous, and I guess the band broke up, the one of the guys I guess regretted the name that they chose. And I'm just like, who regrets their band name now? Like unless you actually seriously hate it that much.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of bands are kind of like, oh man, like what are the Foo Fighters like? And then U2 is like the fun, like they're one of the biggest bands in the world and ever, and that's just. But there's also like some band names that are like really cool, like Radiohead, I think is a really cool band name, and Nirvana is a really cool band name.
Yeah, those are
But
actually pretty good, but honestly,
yeah,
I would not see how much people hate their band name. I know why I see like most people love it, but once I heard they hate someone hates it, I'm like, that's a thing. Someone that can actually hate their own band name.
yeah. A
That
lot of
must be
people
so
do.
bad.
A lot of people do because it's like with a song, if you don't like you can always write a new song. You just keep putting out songs, albums. It's like you can move on to the next era. But once you kind of have your name, that's it.
Yeah, like you can't change it no matter if someone listens to your music or not. It's
Yeah,
the way I
unless
look.
you're like, or like I don't know, like a lot of like rappers and stuff will change their names and stuff. But
Yeah,
or
it's still a thing. People change their names even though they're die-hard famous. They still change
yeah,
their names, but people still call them by the name they were.
yeah, yeah.
But to kind of wrap this episode up, I have some fun questions for you. That's probably the easiest questions probably you probably gotten today. But if you collaborate with anyone with a song, who would it be?
Well, I would love to work with Travis Barker.
Oh, he's a good one.
He has been playing on and producing and writing some of the best alternative music coming out right now. And he's also in Blink 182, which was one of the reasons I play music. So the fact that he's still making music that's relevant, um, and I keep like I know some people that I've written with him, and I've actually written a song with somebody that has written with Travis, like multiple people that have written with Travis and made songs. A lot of people, and I'm like always I've been one person away, and I'm like he's somebody that I really would love to work with, have collaborate on a track for me, for another artist. I don't care, but that's somebody I would love to. There's so many people too I could go off. I've got a list in my notebook, but Travis is just the first one that popped in my head now. So
Yeah, that's a good answer. Like as long
yeah,
as it's a connection to just try to pull one of them, see if one of them actually, takes it actually seriously.
yeah,
But did you see that Travis's son was dating Charlie D'Amelio for a hot minute?
Landon was?
Yeah, Landon. That's
No.
his name. Yeah, I
I,
think they're broken up now, but they were dating for a good couple of months.
oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it
No,
was
I saw.
weird. I didn't even really know about them, like the relationship. I just know they dated for a couple of months and dated things, I believe. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
I had no clue. I mean, I just saw that he's playing. I don't know anything about his personal life, but I know that he's playing the opening some shows for the new Blink tour that they announced. So
Oh,
that
that's
was pretty cool.
really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But if you weren't a songwriter, what would you be?
What would I be? So probably if I wasn't a songwriter, probably if I wasn't into music, what would I be? I think it would be another form of art. Before I got into songwriting, I was really big into drawing,
Mm.
and I sort of like returned to that a little bit, like creating using different mediums. I don't know if you can see back here, but I
Mm.
have like a bunch of leather jackets that I painted on that here I'll show you one. I also make jackets. So I like painted this skull on here. I did some lettering. This was a black jacket and I like painted it white and splattered it and added studs. That's a whole nother passion of mine. And
That is actually so dope. Like the one that you showed me the jacket, I absolutely love that. Like I'm sure
oh,
a lot of
thanks.
people would buy those out if you sell
Oh
them.
yeah. So I've been selling them. I started making them for myself and then just I've been making videos of how I make them and posting them on Instagram and TikTok. And from doing that, people are like, "Hey, can you make me one? Can you?" I've been people have been commissioning me to make them. Like a bunch of artists that I know have had me make them stage jackets. I have 4 orders right now that I have to I have to make, but it started as a fun thing, and now it's like, all right, cool. People want to wear them. I'm down. But yeah,
Yeah,
if
as
you
long
follow
as you
me on
get some extra
Instagram,
money with it and doing it for, for fun, that's the most important thing while making money for it.
yeah, yeah. So I guess if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I have like I'm gonna post one. Did I post one today? I'm gonna post one when I get off the phone with you of one that I just made, and I'm always kind of filtering that in with my music stuff too.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, to answer your question, I feel like it would be something in the art and creating art because that's before I played guitar, I was already like just drawing and trying to create things. So I
Yeah,
feel like
that's
that's
awesome.
that's where I'd land.
Yeah, you now have to make me one of those jackets now, and I'm
Hmm.
pretty convinced now. So I have to look up some things for you to get me out to me.
Hell yeah, let's do
But
it.
to wrap this episode up, like, do you have any upcoming projects coming out the next couple of months?
So the next single comes out in June. It's called While It Lasted, and I haven't even begun to promote it yet. It's like literally I just mixed it today. But I'm gonna once it's mixed and mastered, I'm gonna start posting little teasers probably for like the next 6 weeks. So you'll be seeing if you follow me on socials, you'll be able to see I'll start teasing different parts of the song. And then my plan is to put out another single and then drop the whole EP. And then I'm gonna be touring in the fall, and I should be making my way up to Pennsylvania.
Oh,
So
sweet. You have to
yeah,
let me know what that
keep in
show is
touch.
when
Yeah,
you're
keep
coming
in
up when
touch.
you
So
know.
I'll be posting all the dates. I think like September, August is when it was. Yeah, August and September I think is when it starts.
Oh,
So
perfect. I have to look out for that now when you come to Pennsylvania. I have to come to that show
yeah,
once you come
yeah,
down. Yeah, so thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to stay tuned for his upcoming music and tour. And I really appreciate everyone listening. And I really thank you, Eric, for coming on and taking the
of
time. I
course.
love everything you're doing in your music. So I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.